All right, so moving right along with the rest of the interview that Iguodala had on the Gills Arena, it was a lot of good stuff that was coming out of that episode. Man, y'all got to go check it out. I'll probably leave a link in the description for you. But they got to talking about, because while they was talking about the Finals MVP and all that stuff, and Gilbert Arenas asked them about how it looked like the referees was trying to give the Cleveland Cavaliers games. And Iguodala just sunk in his chair and was like, "Oh my God, you seen that too?" Right? So I don't know which finals he was talking about. I don't know if he was talking about the one they won or the one when they won without KD, or the one they won with KD. Because I know it was a gentleman's sweep. When KD came out, it was one gentleman's sweep and one sweep. And those losses was crazy. I want you to hear exactly what they said about how the NBA works and how the refereeing and the whistle works when it comes to things like that.
But if I say that, as players, we can't say so. You just got to play along. You got to play the game. But when you think about it, it's like, how many games was this happening?
Real shit.
Like,
you currently have no association with the league, obviously.
Because I was betting then.
I looked at one ref and I'm cool with him. Something happened. I'm like, yo, y'all for real? Y'all cool?
For real?
I was like, y'all good? And he was like, I'm like, come on, man. The game over, fam. We gonna win, fam. I'm like, no, come on, man. Don't do this to me, man. Like, you gonna break my whole spirit. Mm-hmm. Don't do this.
And they give us sex for it. But did you feel that last game where fouls was being called?
No, I tell people all the time, I was like, listen, the closeout game is the hardest game in your life. And they be like, why? And I can't say. I can't say, but I'm like, no, fam, listen, like, this is the hardest game you'll ever play in your life. And ED told you.
Yeah, it's shit. Nah, I'll tell it. Like, go ahead.
You got to be the vehicle.
The vehicle.
Okay, you got to be the vehicle.
No, it's real though.
No. I remember we were about to play Game 7, 2012. So we were about to play the Celtics or whatever.
Game 7.
So I'm hyped as hell. I'm like, yeah, bro, we got a Game 7. Like, ooh, out the damn. Like, this is gonna be lit. So Eldon's like, we're gonna have to win by 15 just to win by 1. Mm. So I'm like, what you mean? He's like, bro, this is the NBA. It's entertainment. Like, LeBron is and the Heat are waiting. Would you rather watch the Celtics or the Sixers play the Heat? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on the team. I wouldn't even watch the Sixers play the Heat type shit. Like,
you gotta appreciate it.
But mind you, I'm young, 22, 23. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? So it's like, so we get in this game. You know how much money the NBA is gonna lose? Like this, type shit. I'm like, I guess like a decent amount. It's like, would you watch that game next week if it was the Heat versus the Sixers? I'm like, nah. It's like, okay then. So like, that's why I'm telling you, take M's and M's from this. I'm like, what? He's like, millions of memories, because this is entertainment.
Damn, that's a bar.
And he said, as long as you know that, don't act like your OG ain't tell you.
That's crazy.
That was my second year, 2012. I remember
Ellen give me crazy.
No, that's real. He said,
you got to win by 15 because you have to
win by 1.
You have to be up so much that don't affect it.
And he's just like, they're well aware of the storyline. It's not like nothing like. It's a consumer base. Like, I understand everything. Like, we all love it. But like, when you sit there, it's just real shit to know. When I would go into certain games, I tell you, I do the same thing. Like, yo, we got to win by 15 and win by 1. Mm-hmm. And I understand it. Like, shit, they got to get that. We all got, and when we go to the union, we all like, how the money turn out? What like, when y'all ran through everybody early, we was pissed. We had to get back something. Like, you know what I mean? TV money dropped. We like, it's fucking up the league. Yeah. They're fucking up the break.
Man, I don't know if you heard that part he said at the end. I'm gonna try to address everything that I can remember, but let me start at the end where he said the year that the Warriors was beating everybody, just running through everybody. He said at the end of the year when the players union got together, and you know how the revenue split goes with the owners and the players. Well, I don't know the 100% specifics on it, but it's a revenue split. It might be like maybe 60-40. I don't know. So whatever they get from the TV deals and the advertisements and all of that money, the ticket sales and all that stuff. The owners get all that, and they split it with the players, like everybody's salary and all that other stuff is based on what the NBA brings in annually. And then the owners are also split their revenue as well. So put it this way, if you're a team like the Charlotte Hornets, who are a small market, who your franchise don't bring enough fans, or you don't sell enough merch, so you're not really making as much as a Laker franchise would be making, it's still cool, because as long as the Lakers are successful, then that means the NBA as a whole is successful with how much money they bring in, and it's more money to split between all the owners because they split that money, right? So if you have data as a NBA front office guy, or as the NBA commissioner, and you say, look, I know for a fact when this team in New York, this team in LA, this team in San Francisco, this team here, I know they're bringing in so much money. I know if they're successful and their fans are really engaged and they go far in the playoffs, then we're going to get X amount of money, which is a large amount of money. Let's say, I don't know, let's say 6 billion. Let's say you bring in 6 billion. But when those teams are not successful, you only bring in half of that, 3 billion. Right? So it's not hard to sit down amongst 30 team owners and say, would you rather split 6 billion or split 3 billion? Right? And I know what you're thinking. Hey, man, money is money. If I'm getting that much money, it doesn't even matter. I want my team to be successful. But some teams like Michael Jordan own, like the Charlotte Hornets, look, man, if you get that word, y'all just not gonna be successful because it's not beneficial for the league as a whole. We gotta put our eggs in certain baskets, right? And that's going to be more money for you. So, that's how that works. And then what Evan Turner was just explaining is, he was like, when we came back to that union and found out that we got less money because the Warriors was too good, and the Warriors was beating everybody, and there wasn't enough games on TV, and all the networks that was paying for certain games, they wasn't getting satisfied because they was only getting 4 games. It was sweeps. We only got 4 games. Imagine the year that Kevin Durant was with the Warriors, and they swept the Cavs in the finals, and almost swept them two years in a row if they didn't give them a game. If you go back and watch that game, or even look at the numbers, because they cheated so hard for the Cavs that they couldn't even hide it in the stat sheet. Most of the times when they calling the game a certain way, they're able to do it where at the end of the game, when the fans look at the stats, they can't recognize it. Like, look, they got the same amount of free throws, right? So they able to hide it because, hey, look, if I see the team that we're trying to handicap go on a run, I can slow them down with certain fouls. It don't have to be shooting fouls, but that's going to do certain things. I might put one of their players on the bench early, or I might just slow momentum up by getting a foul here. Now they got to guard a certain way. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't always a free throw it's not always a free throw discrepancy, right? So I say all that to say this. Evan Turner was explaining the series against the Celtics, and I don't know if he said 2012. I gotta check. I'm pretty sure it was the Boston Big Three, but I don't know if it was the year after they won the championship. But I do know the year that they did win the championship, and the Celtics was so good during the regular season where everybody knew they was going to the finals. I mean, they was just so good. And they got in the daggone, I want to say the first round against Philly, and they could not handle them. Elton Brand, Evan Turner, and they had this kid that was coming off the bench that was a second-year player. I think his last name was like Lavoy or something like that. He didn't even stay in the league long. He was just a low Kendrick Perkins, Garnett. Nobody had no answer for him, man. This kid was all over. I need to look his name up, man. Elton Brand and that kid was killing the Celtics. And I want to say they took game 1. I'm like, oh, shoot, what is going on? And game 2 might have been really, really tough And that's when the referees had to come and help Boston out, right? And the crazy thing, I was rooting for Boston, and when I seen the change in the whistle, I was happy because I was like, yes, because they're supposed to be in a championship. And in my mind, I justified it. Like, I'm okay with them cheating for Boston and giving them the favor because I think Boston is a better team. And Boston was the better team. It was just something, I don't know, man. Philly, I don't know what crawled up Philly's hind parts, man, but Philly was not having it. And if the referees wouldn't have helped Boston out, Philly would have advanced in that series. And I don't know if that's the same year. It might have been the next year, because I think the next year, I got to double check. Because he said 2012, and I'm pretty sure Boston won in 2008. So this was toward the end. So it's not, so forget about the series I'm talking about, but that happened, right? So whatever he was talking about, it was Boston, and they was probably about to go face Miami and LeBron with the big three, because the big three wasn't formed when Boston won their first championship. So yeah, that's a different time, but that happened. Boston, you can go look it up. The year Boston won a championship, they barely got past Philly, and the referees helped them. So in 2012, what Evan Turner is talking about is another time where Boston and the NBA had invested interest in Boston playing Miami versus Philly playing Miami, right? And as a business, you got your own right. It's not against the law for the NBA to fix their games. It's not against the law for the NBA to instruct referees to call games certain ways. And if I instruct the referee to call a game that's going to favor one team over the other, it's my prerogative because it's my business. I'm trying to make sure, and me as the NBA commissioner, my number one job is to make money. That's my number one job, to make money. And anything that comes in the way of us making the most money we can make, I have to figure a way to get around it. That's the commissioner's job. His job is not to make sure everything is fair and honest and all this. No, I'm running a business, and the bottom line is I need to make sure I make the most money as possible. And certain teams advancing and certain teams doing good and certain players advancing and certain players doing good is very important. All right. I ended with this. I want you to go back and look at that Phoenix versus Dallas series where Phoenix was obviously the better team. And all of a sudden something switched in the way they was calling the game. Some people think it was Luka that turned the switch on because Devin Booker was taunting them and trash talking about it, and all of a sudden Luka hit a switch. But Luka wasn't the only one that hit that switch. The referees hit a switch as well. And the reason why you never want to trash talk too much is because if you start showing up trash talking and kind of like punching down on a player that's a marquee player that the NBA wants to market, the NBA has invested interest in, the NBA has a plan for them in the future, right? This is somebody that we're going to put the league on their shoulders and make money as long as they're playing in the league. If you ever make them look bad, it's going to be hard to market them. So you never want to do what Devin Booker did to Luka, because now not only did you piss off a great player, you probably pissed off the NBA as well. And now I have to do something to make sure you don't make my product look bad. This is somebody I'm trying to market. Detroit Pistons learned it the hard way. The NBA saw that they could ride Michael Jordan and to financial success. We can put the league on his back, but in order to do that, we need y'all to start playing real basketball and stop playing football on this basketball court. Because when you do that, we're going to be able to see Michael Jordan flying through the sky and dunking and doing all this stuff. Yeah, once you take your hands off of him, Michael Jordan's going to be an unstoppable person for us to market. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why Isaiah keep complaining. Like, man, we had to play a different way with Mike because they wouldn't let us beat him up no more, right? It was the same thing. That was the formula. So now when you find out the players they're trying to market, and it's easily to find out what players they're trying to market because the teams and the players they put on opening night and the teams and the players they put on Christmas Day, that will tell you which players and teams that the NBA is saying we want y'all to love them because we're going to push them in your face. We're going to market them. Those are the players, right? So look at the Christmas Day games, and that'll tell you who the players is and the teams that the NBA is saying we have a plan for them, right? Very easy. And when you understand that, then you can bet on some games and make some money because you know, man, I need to bet with what the best interest is for the NBA because that's probably what's going to end up happening, right? So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Is Iguodala just talking, or do you think the NBA really do manipulate games?